What's up, everybody? Welcome to One Set.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the One Set podcast, where we talk WWE, we follow the latest storylines, and predict the future of those stories. So, my name is Anthony Irvin. I'm here with my best friend and co-host, Jim Green. What's going on, buddy?
Anth, we have a lot to talk about, and I gotta say,
it was a crazy weekend, and even Monday Night Raw had a lot of ups and downs, and there's a decent amount to talk about tonight for sure.
I almost feel like they made Raw and SmackDown, like outside of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament matches, I feel like they intentionally set the bar really low, like just for the sake of like, okay, we're gonna hit them hard at Night of Champions, and we're gonna hit the gas on this road to SummerSlam, and just because like that Monday Night Raw was like, okay, they were pulling out all the stops for this first time ever 2-night SummerSlam event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after, like, I'm sure that they know about how people were not thrilled about Mania with all the ads and the short matches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just at the point where it's like, you got like one chance to really redeem yourself with all of the people that are really mega pissed. Is like I
to say the least.
Yeah. I was like, how can I say this effectively and keep it clean? So I gotta say, here we are again, Anth. Like, we are looking at a SummerSlam that's like, this could just like 100% blow WrestleMania 42 out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say WrestleMania 42, what are your favorite things? What are we 2 months removed from WrestleMania 42? It's like, what do you remember the most about WrestleMania that just passed? It's the Roman CM Punk like classic.
Yeah.
It's Obafemi beating Brock Lesnar, which like, it's almost like it's almost like, okay, we kind of felt like they were gonna do this trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brock does this retirement thing, and we all think like, he's probably done.
We all definitely thought, okay, that he's putting his boots in the ring and he's done. Because we assumed, obviously, we had the rumor of he's going to end at SummerSlam, but normally most of the time when that's like the shtick of you're done, you're good. But now we're getting this third match, and now it's going to be the legit retirement match, if so. But it's the best out of three, because Brock's got one, Oba's got one, so now this is the ultimate thing going now.
We got the rubber match going here, and that is without even talking about Obafemi winning the King of the Ring. Okay, so
yeah,
let's pull it back. Let's throw the reins on this.
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments, and we're live in the chat, so feel free to let us know what your thoughts are in the chat from Night of Champions, what you thought of Raw, and we'll say this now. We're probably going to go into a little bit of SmackDown, because we, knowing that we're live on Tuesday, We usually do this on Mondays, but we saw some rumors from SmackDown since it was in Atlantic City last night, so they did some tapings because of the holiday weekend coming up. So we do have some rumors to go over for SmackDown. So if you guys want to hear some SmackDown talk, we're going to do that later in the show. But if you don't want to hear anything, it'll be up on our re-upload on Friday. So
yeah. And you'll have the timestamp in like the description for like, hey, if you don't want to, like, if you haven't watched SmackDown yet, like, just stop at this timestamp, because we are going to get into a little bit of that towards the end of the episode.
Yep.
Time permitting, we might go on and on about Night of Champions and Raw, and it's like, okay, time for bed, and we can save SmackDown for next week.
We can always save it for next week or something, if anything. So we'll see what happens. But yeah.
We'll see.
Night of Champions, for sure.
lots to talk about, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning into the episode. We don't mind coming on here and calling a spade when the product is bad. Like I said, like the last, it feels like 6 weeks, especially SmackDown, which I will say the go home episode of SmackDown I did watch last week, and I actually enjoyed it top to bottom. I was like, wow, this is actually like pretty good. I'm like, this must be their last 3-hour episode, and they're just trying to see, hey, can we actually get a decent 3-hour episode? And I was like, wait a minute, they're going back to 2 hours. So they're trying to give the people the time before people start losing their time, and they have to try to crunch everybody in, aka some people you're going to start seeing a lot less of on TV, I feel like. So
yeah, I totally forgot they're starting 2 hours, this week. So hence why they were probably able to get it done all in one night. And they started Raw, 2 hours earlier. So they were able to start SmackDown around 8:30. So it was technically around the 8 to 10 o'clock time that they would have been taping SmackDown anyway.
Sure. Yeah. So if Raw was at 6 o'clock, which I actually wound up going to the Phillies game last night, so I didn't catch Raw until like pretty late. But they were doing Raw at 6 o'clock. The episode was like 2.5 hours about, so they must have been doing SmackDown from like 9 to 11.
Yeah.
Like you said, holiday this weekend. They've, in just recent years, started doing this, like, oh, we should start pre-taping to give the talent off on holidays. Like, I guess once AEW rolled around and talent were like, oh, that's attractive because those people get off on the major holidays.
Right.
They were like, let's try to remedy this finally. I mean, I remember Monday Night Raw being on Christmas and like being like,
they didn't stop at all. Yeah. So I mean,
that was always kind of crazy to me, but
it's good because you get the wrestlers to get a little bit of rest in between because they're doing so many, shows a year. I mean, back then, they did a lot. I mean, it's scaled down a lot to what it is now. But
they got rid of like the 5 house shows a week that the people used to do,
and people are still getting injured without it. It's nuts just how much of the plague of these injuries have gotten to people. It's nuts. I mean, you can only imagine how many more injuries there would have been if a lot of these like house shows and live shows were still, going on as much as it used to.
So the like ongoing debate about bring house shows back versus don't bring house shows back is the talent got to practice the big spots that they were going to do in these house shows, because back then people weren't recording on their phones and posting it on, like, social media wasn't even a thing yet. So they were literally practicing like match choreography in the house shows that they were going to use at the PLE. So these accidents that you see, albeit, they were happening back then, But those accidents were from fatigue. Like the talent were worn out from being overworked.
Yeah.
Now it's like the house shows are barely a thing, so they don't get the reps in, so they're getting injured because their body isn't going through the motions enough, or
Right.
they're slipping because they don't get to practice the spots enough. So it's like
Yeah.
it is an ongoing debate that I have seen, and I know we haven't really talked about that a lot, but it it is nice that the talent does get off for the holidays compared to what they used to. They have, I think, with like social media coming into play, kayfabe is like not nearly as much as what it used to be. Like, it's just understood like, hey, these are characters, they're performers, and they are real life human beings outside of it. A lot of them
Yeah.
post on social media just as themselves casually a lot of the time. So
Yeah, you made a good point with the social media thing too. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep things a secret at this point, even with the storylines and trying to keep them on the down low because social media and people with their phones and taking this and taking that. So
and sharing their families in general, like
yeah, so nothing like the past of having secret lives and having a lot of things on the down low. You can't do that much anymore, and you have to be creative in your ways of trying to keep it secret at this point too. Like, you're either just not, like how they do with a lot of the bigger things, like they just only tell one or two people at this point instead of telling the whole talent. They're even keeping it from certain talent unless you're in the actual like shtick that they're doing. You're knowing nothing about it, so it doesn't get out to anybody.
Yeah, they have to, because I mean Triple H has said, whether it be on Unreal or in interviews, that I like, he's just outright said like because of social media and word travels faster than it ever has before.
Yep.
Like, these surprises come few and far between, right? So like, I guess they have a formula for the Brock Lesnar thing, because like you never hear his like, oh, Brock Lesnar's backstage. Like, Brock Lesnar's never backstage. He is always in a tour bus somewhere
Waiting
until
to
it
be
is
told. Yeah.
until it's time for him to come out. And by the time anybody catches wind and tries to, so he's walking through the curtain, right?
Yep.
So all that being said, if you were in Atlantic City and happened to see both of these shows, like I can't imagine. I am excited to see what SmackDown looks like, to see like what the energy looks like,
Right.
given the literally coming off of Monday Night Raw being taped right before it. And I mean, they got some hot spots on Raw. Like, we're gonna talk about the stuff that happened.
Yeah. So I mean, you're looking at like a 4 or 5 hour night from what they were doing. So I mean, yeah,
Easy.
see if the crowd was just as hyped for SmackDown as it was for Raw. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had a new champion on SmackDown, so
Yeah.
we're,
So I mean,
we're gonna get to that.
gotta have to have some excitement for that. But yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, let's break down a little bit of Night of Champions. So
Night of Champions kicked off with Obafemi versus Jey Uso in the King of the Ring final, with the winner getting a title match at SummerSlam. And now that there are two main titles, they get to pick. Very a la Royal Rumble winner gets to pick their WrestleMania opponent. I know we both predicted Obafemi to win. I was still waiting for Brock Lesnar to show up here. He did not, and there was no bloodline interference in this match, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
I mean, Jey Uso got a couple spots in. He hit like back-to-back top rope slashes, and Oba kicked out at 2, and I was like, that's it, Jay. Like you're toast. You're done. You're cooked.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it wasn't going to be a Jay squash. It wasn't going to be like, a 1-2-3 type thing. I mean, it according to what our thing says, it was like a little over 8 minutes long. So it was like the second to the most quickest match. I think the quickest was the Tiffany and Jade match, according to that list that you gave me. So they were the two shortest matches of the night. But again, with that type of thing, you didn't really expect a long match with it. But I didn't really expect it to be like something like, oh, he's just going to squash Jay and it'd be done. I'm glad we didn't get Brock until the night after. I think that just would have, went over on giving Oba that little moment. But the controversial thing within that match was, did Oba tap out when Jay was, putting him in the sleeper hold? I kind of thought as well, because he kind of did the, like, one of those things, but it was more like, I think it was more purpose, the fact that he was getting like the hype, like to smack the ring to get hype, but it did look like a tap out. But, I think they obviously knew that wasn't the spot that they were doing, so I think they obviously just let that roll because it wasn't part of the actual match. It was just meant for Oba to be, getting some hype to get into the next move to get him out of it. But yeah, I can see where people are like, oh, Oba definitely tapped out.
Yeah, I am curious if that was like just like Oba's instinct during the match in that moment to just do that to hype up, and then he got backstage. Triple H was like, you tapped out, right?
Yeah. Like, you can't just tap the ring like that, right?
Yeah. Or if they planted it to just stir controversy around it, right?
Yeah, you never know these days. Like we said, it's sometimes you have to put a couple things in there just to get people talking about things, even though it may not be part of it, but it's going to get people to talk. So why not have it just to have some type of thing to talk about, if not the match, So
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Oba wins clean. Happy to see it.
Yes.
And immediately it was like, okay. Like, this Brock match is happening in Minnesota at SummerSlam. We've all had this pegged as like it is happening there.
Yeah. I mean, we were saying that last week, like whether it's going to be Oba and Brock night one, and then you get Roman and Brock, or Roman and Oba night two, but obviously we know that that's not going to happen. But it is.
Yeah, or is Brock getting the WWE Championship, and like
that's the other thing circulating around too. Like, is he just going to take it off Sammy, and then we get the title match for Brock and Oba?
Immediately it was, is Brock going to take it off Cody? So
right now, the thing is, okay, is he going to take it off Sammy? And then,
right.
But that would be at main event. But it looks like, they're looking to have Jay have that opportunity against Sammy at main event, because again, there's some things that we'll get to that we found out about it. But yeah, there's a lot of things that is rumored to be going around the next couple weeks and then leading up to SummerSlam. So, yeah, I can understand why people are just like, what was the point of the King of Ring if you're just giving Oba and Brock the match, because Oba is supposed to be picking a champion for SummerSlam.
Yeah, and we will get into that like after we get through Night of Champions and we get to Raw. Like, yeah, because I have some feelings about that.
Yeah.
Like
either way,
thing.
like you said, I am stoked to see Oba winning the King of the Ring. It's definitely a thing that he deserves. They're strapping the Rocket to kind of get him up to where he needs to be. But yeah, just there's always controversy wherever you're gonna have controversy with everything. But yeah,
we didn't get Jey Uso winning the King of the Ring, which was just like we talked about like you can't have Jey Uso beating Obafemi in the first hour free on ESPN. Nobody's gonna see that and be like, oh, I better get the ESPN app and watch the rest of this PLE.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't feel like Jey Uso was being positioned for a title match at SummerSlam anyway. Like,
no,
not with where he is in the bloodline. Like, for Roman to be like, go get that other title.
Yeah, he wasn't even really kind of backing Jay to be like, yeah, you got this, bring it home, It's almost like, yeah, we know you're not going to get that, so whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, Jay, like, this is really just to keep you busy because you're annoying, right?
Right. And I think that's going to stem off a couple things, too, like we've talked about in previous episodes. But, it's obviously not going to sit well no matter what with Roman, knowing that, now Jay lost to Oba. Now he knows that Roman's got a target on his back. Not only now it's Seth, but now, he's eventually going to have to be facing Oba because because Jay lost to Oba. So that's always going to put a thing on Jay like that Roman's going to be like, oh, well, if it wasn't for you losing to Oba, I wouldn't have to be worrying about Oba right now. And it's always going to be like, oh, Jay getting the crap end of the stick. So I think that's going to, draw some lines. And then, as Jacob continues to be more of Roman's one, right-hand man, it's going to push back Jimmy and Jay. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Curious to see how the bloodline stuff pans out.
Yeah, we're getting all these like little detonators from the bloodline to the Vision to the Judgment Day. All of these three factions that have been ruling WWE for the last 3, 4, 5 years, they're all imploding slowly but surely. So it's like, we're either getting split ups or we're just getting the Vision, which again we'll get into more detail, but seems like that just is just on that somebody just needs to press the button after what happened at Raw and be like, okay, implode now.
Yeah, I mean, the Vision only being a year old, the Seth Rollins injury, like, the Vision has just been dead ever since it, man. Like,
right.
For, like, if they... let's talk about the Vision when we get to Raw. Let's get through this Night of the Champions card. Io Sky defeats Liv Morgan in the Queen of the Ring final. And then immediately after... Io Sky tells Liv, I will see you at SummerSlam.
Which I was very surprised that we didn't get the Stephanie Valkyrie payoff. I was waiting for it, but we didn't get it. And
I think it's just Rhea being injured. Like, it really just feels like Rhea's not going to be at SummerSlam, or at least not defending the title.
Right.
So
that's now it's like, okay, it doesn't seem like they do much of it now as it is, but do they vacate that title and then we get, a big, matchup at SummerSlam to crown the new champion? But again, it could just be still like they're still waiting to see if Rhea's going to be able to do it. They still have a couple weeks and they have about 5 to 6 weeks until SummerSlam. So I think if you're still unsure by mid-July, then they should be, thinking about pulling the title and doing some type of contending match at SummerSlam for the women to crown that new belt instead of having, Rhea just hold on to it for God knows how long she'll have to be out for.
Right. I mean, can't really talk about SmackDown yet. Y'all, we are trying to be respectful for those that
Yeah.
haven't, that don't know about the spoilers, and we don't want to be those people. Like, we are doing our due diligence to not say too much. So for with the whole Liv Morgan being in the Queen of the Ring tournament was weird from the get-go.
Yes.
But this does just feel like would they really do Io Sky versus Liv Morgan in the Queen of the Ring final for Io to win and say, okay, I'll see you again at SummerSlam? That match isn't even exciting now. I mean, they did stuff on Raw to like help make the feud feel a little bit extra heated, but it's like, we just got the match.
Right. So you're just going to run it back at SummerSlam. Unless you put a stipulation on it, then it's going to like give it a little bit more pizzazz. But if you're just going to run another, one-on-one match, then it's like, okay, we just saw it. It's just going to be on a bigger stage. But
yeah,
again, you can't do anything with Rhea, so it's just pretty much Liv Morgan.
It's almost like, okay, I understand they're handicapping Io Sky, unless, and God, I would hate if this actually came, unless if they storyline right off Io can't compete at SummerSlam, and then in comes Stephanie Vaquer, and it's like this major return, and then Stephanie gets the win over Liv at SummerSlam and gets the title back.
Right.
They can't do Io Sky dirty like that again after they did her dirty for WrestleMania, though, right? Like, right. She has to be on a SummerSlam card, but it does feel like she was supposed to face Rhea Ripley. Like, that just makes the most sense. Like, that was the route. Too. That was the route they were going to go. The Charlotte and Jade match, it could have happened without the title. Even if Jade had won the Women's United States title, which we're going to get to in a couple minutes here, Jade defending the Women's United States title against Charlotte Flair just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, I don't know. I feel a type of way about Tiffany Stratton even having the Women's United States title, because she was just a women's WWE champion 6 months ago.
Yeah, ever since she's kind of come back from, it was an injury, right, that she had, I think. But
she got injured and then defended against Jade, and then Jade won the title.
Yeah.
But Tiffany was already dealing with the injury going into that match, and they knew she needed to take time off, so they took the title off of her.
Right. Yeah. So I think ever since she's gotten back from the injury, it's obviously just lost a little bit of a spark. And being that, she won the U.S. title, thinking that could just bring that spark back, knowing that she has a title on her again. But it's like, she's hasn't clearly really done much.
Well, and in the meantime, her ex-boyfriend, Ludwig Kaiser, is killing a megastar now. So
literally the president of Mexico at this point.
I mean, my, how the turntables, right?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, yeah, I feel like they're navigating around this Rhea injury. Stephanie Vaquer wasn't supposed to be out for this long, I don't think. But some rumors are out there saying that she's actually fine, and she's dealing with like legal stuff.
Gotcha.
don't know too much about it. Don't want to speak on it because I haven't done like the
Right.
proper research, so I don't want to say too much on that front. Yeah, I thought the Liv and Io match was fine.
Yeah.
And then Io makes the announcement right after, and I was like, okay, we have our first SummerSlam match. Cool. And then I was like, yeah, but they're just gonna run this back again?
Mhm.
Like, maybe Stephanie comes into the fold and
I
we
was
get
gonna
a
say,
triple
unless you do a third, like a three, triple threat thing.
triple
But
threat. I would not hate that, just for the sake that we had Io and Liv on Saturday, like at Night of Champions. Like, and I get it. Like, they have time and time again done these. I mean, they did Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu at Backlash and at Clash in Italy. So it's not like they can't do the matches back to back, but it's like you said, maybe they'll add a stipulation of some sort.
maybe they do something like, Stephanie comes back before the main event and she either faces Liv or Io at main event, and if she wins, she gets in, like, into the match and it becomes a triple threat or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they were trying to do that, just putting her into the match with how everything else is going, of like, who deserves this and how does this person deserve that, then that's going to be one of those other things. Like, oh, she just came back and it's already going to be Io and Liv. She comes back and she just automatically gets put into it. Just, if at least if you let her earn it by, facing one of them in an event, then you can, if she wins, then you can be like, all right, well, she earned her spot. So there you go.
There you go. Guess we'll see what the development on that looks like next week, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I am looking at the wrong thing here. I pulled up the Clash in Italy card because I wanted to double check the match length for Brock and Oba 2, because the Oba and Jay match went 8 minutes long, and I'm like, okay, this is Oba Femi's longest match on the main roster. Like, the Brock Lesnar matches were both shorter.
Yes.
I'm like, so Jey Uso really took Oba to the limit, as far as we know.
Yep.
Just some crazy stuff there. Okay. Getting into the main show after the regular ESPN, we had the cage match. Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker.
Seth and Braun.
Which I thought was pretty good. We both said Braun Breaker needed to win this match.
Yeah. If they were going to keep the vision in line, then yeah, he definitely needed to win this.
Seth Rollins got the win, and immediately I'm like, okay, are they doing Seth versus Roman at SummerSlam? Is Brock Lesnar really getting the WWE Championship at some time between now and SummerSlam? Because, like, Obafemi winning King of the Ring, he has only ever mentioned Roman Reigns. Like, right after WrestleMania, in the post show, he name dropped Roman Reigns.
Yep. Right then and there.
He has never, except for, I could go after the WWE Championship, and the crowd goes, meh. Or I could go after the World Heavyweight Championship, and everyone's like, yeah! And I feel like that was just, like, maybe Paul backstage was like, we want to test to see how the audience feels about this. Like, we're pretty sure we know, but go ahead and just do that to tease it.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, everybody wants this Oba and Roman match to be a thing, right?
100%.
So, okay. Seth Rollins wins the cage match, and we're like, okay, are we getting Seth and Roman? But Obafemi is clearly challenging Roman Reigns.
Right.
I was like, the triple threat just doesn't make sense because we know that they wanted to do this Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins one-on-one match at WrestleMania this past year, and then Seth got injured back in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are we doing here? We get the Monday Night Raw, and we'll talk about it when we get, like, we'll talk a little bit more about, I know we've already kind of touched on the Brock and Oba stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more once we're finished up with Night of Champions.
Yep.
The cage match overall I thought was pretty good. Braun looked really good once he got ripped open.
Yeah, I mean, it did what it needed to do, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a decent match, but
and I swore that they, like, because people were saying, like, you got all these weapons in there, why not just do Hell in a Cell? I was like, it makes sense for them to do Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. They need a major, I said it last week, they need a major attraction to help fill out 2 nights of SummerSlam. Nothing between Seth and Braun on Monday Night Raw. We wound up seeing the Seth and Roman close out the show. It is just for anyone tuning in, listening, it is really hard to talk about Night of Champions and not talk about what happened on Raw right after. Like, we are trying to, like, stay organized, and it's like it is tough. I just want to say, like, I am trying to just talk about Night of Champions. It's not super easy
because we had, it's like we had the lines connected, so it's like you're trying not to go down the full rabbit hole of it and just dissecting a little bit of everything. And but I mean, go ahead.
How'd you feel about the match all around? Like, do you think that the steel cage really fit here, or do you think that it, like, Hell in a Cell would have been better suited?
I mean, I thought the cage match, I mean, definitely if you're going to have another Seth and Braun match, you have to have this as, like, your ultimate, like, okay, this is the end. So usually it has to be some big stipulation. So the cage match was definitely something to kind of, do for both of them, because I think Braun, that was his first cage match. Seth has been in a few. And so obviously you had Seth being the one that was more experienced in those type of matches. But, I think if you were trying to conclude something that Seth was finally done with the vision, then you had to make him win. But if you're trying to keep Braun Breaker in the high of highs because he is one of your future superstars, he can't be losing big things like that either. But I think Braun's going to be fine. I mean, he's still young. They still have, he's up there with Oba and Jacob Fatu and Trick Williams and all those guys that are, like, coming right up right now. So I think Braun's going to be fine. It's just he's just in this spiral with a lot of the bigger guys that are, on their last, years of their careers, that they're just trying to fill out, their last, I need to do this before I'm out of here type of stick thing. Yeah.
It definitely feels like they're cooling off on Braun Breaker right now. I think like those couple injuries did not help him.
No. I honestly would not mind him going away for a little bit, depending on what this vision, outbringing we had on Raw. We'll talk more about it, but I would not mind to see Braun stay off of TV for a little bit, and then when he comes back, maybe closer to the Rumble, then, like, that'll be a big pop, because I think he needs another one of those, like, oh, he's back type of moments, because when he came back from his injury, it was obviously really quick, so I think people were expecting it. But I think if he goes away for a couple months and then just pops up out of nowhere, that's going to be, one that's like, oh my God, it's Braun Breaker. And he hits the spear, just gnarls somebody out. I think that'll be like one of those moments like, oh, he's finally back. I missed this guy. Where now it's like, okay, he's been in a lot of the main roster, pictures for the last year. And he's kind of lost a little bit of, spark. So I think just him being written off for a short amount of time to, fuel that thing again and get him back in there. I think that's probably what he needs a little bit. I mean, it's not going to hurt him to be off. It's just more going to be like, okay, not totally forget about him, but forget him to the fact that, oh, I forgot that, he lost and got written off. And then he just comes in out of nowhere and just gets back into the thing. So I think that'll benefit Braun Breaker at this point right now, while Seth is going in the direction that he's going.
Yeah. Trick Williams, your United States champion, defeats Ricky Saints. And I love Trick Williams, but I did not care about this match because I was like, there's no way that they're putting this title on Ricky Saints. I actually just I'm having trouble getting invested in Ricky Saints.
Same.
I think that his DDT, where he bounces off the rope and his feet go all the way up and then he swings down, it is a thing of beauty. And maybe it's because Ricky Saints is supposed to be a heel, so I find him slightly annoying. I'm having a hard time seeing through that because there's plenty of heels where I'm like, okay, they're annoying, but I tell Cheyenne all the time when she's like, I can't stand it. I'm like, that means they're doing their job.
Tell that to Jen too. I'm like, well, he's doing the right thing if you don't like him.
Yeah, I probably just have to see more Ricky Saints matches, and to be fair, he is on SmackDown, and I don't really I know you and I are both on the same page as we don't watch SmackDown top to bottom like we used to, because it has just been basically unwatchable. It's been really hard to watch. And like I said at the beginning of the episode last week, was actually really good.
Yeah.
So
to be fair, we've done the same thing with Raw before too, that when it was just unbearable to watch, we would just skim through or be like, I can miss things here and there. And that's kind of how SmackDown's been a little bit. But
SmackDown is just in dire straits. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. It's definitely going to be interesting leading up to SummerSlam because they're going to pack it out.
Yeah.
And I think you and I are going to be talking for the next 4 weeks about we can't wait to see what the landscape of wrestling looks like after SummerSlam, or once we get into September and in the fall. How much are they going to invest in the shows being decent with the NFL back in the picture again? Right.
Yep.
So,
and if I can backtrack a slight bit to when you were saying you're not fully invested into Ricky
Saints.
Yeah. So, I kind of feel the same way too, but I am almost I am more, invested in seeing Ethan Page right now than I am Ricky Saints. Mainly one, because, Ethan Page is on Raw. Ricky Saints is, on SmackDown. I haven't had a chance to really look too much at his work, but I kind of believe more of what Ethan Page is doing right now than Ricky Saints. So maybe I just got to give it a little bit more of a chance with Ricky, and knowing that SmackDown's going to be going back to 2 hours, they'll be able to condense a lot more of the show. So maybe we'll get a little bit more time to look at that. But and plus, I really didn't see much of his NXT stuff. I knew of Ethan Page when he was coming into, his stardom in NXT, and then kind of when they were starting to push him a little bit into the main roster and having some backstage segments to kind of just get you a little bit introduced to him. So I think it's just more of Ethan Page's, look and aura that okay, he looks like a star. More like Ricky Saints is seems like more of that Big Carter type of look.
I couldn't agree more. I think that Ethan Page just has the look, and his character and delivery.
Yeah.
It all registers for me. You are 100% right about Ethan Page, where I'm yeah, he is annoying, but I'm I'm watching him in the ring and I'm like, okay, like he's got like a build that makes me feel like is in he's in these matches with the right like he's having stellar matches with the luchadors, like between
Yep.
Penta and Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio on Monday. I'm like, okay, this guy knows how to work with the luchas.
And I think
I
he's
am
doing
behind
really
him.
good work with Rusev, being like that kind of
They
side person and kind of being like, oh, let me just take me under your wing and, just blah, blah, blah. I'll learn from you and just teach me the ropes and stuff. But I think him and Rusev have been, a pretty good, like obviously I don't think you really call it a team, but kind of that like duo. I'm like, okay, well, we have a mutual thing with these guys. So I guess we're working together.
I like duo because like they're not a tag team, but like they pop up together here
Yeah.
and there. Like they're like, oh yeah, we're on the same mission of being just total trolls, like
Yeah.
right, to say the least.
We want to get to the Tiffany and Jade match, or I know I didn't really get to see it much. I mean, obviously, like you said, it was probably the least interested match I was in for Night of Champions. So at that point, I really didn't care who won, but knowing that Tiffany retained, I'm like, fine, that's good. I think that's what we kind of. Well, no, I think we went 50-50 on that. I think I went Jade, you went Tiff on that. Because
Yes.
I had some inkling that Jade was going to win that. But, yeah.
Well, yeah, like being that Jade was just the WWE Women's Champion
Mm-hmm.
going into WrestleMania, it's like, okay, well, she should be able to get a mid card title if she's in a match like that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, if their route is Jade versus Charlotte at SummerSlam, that does not need the Women's United States title. And sure enough, like Michin and B-Fab, the baddies come in, and then Charlotte showed up and cost Jade the match. And it's like, okay, we're getting this Jade and Charlotte match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No title, doesn't need it, right?
No.
And honestly, I'm kind of like, okay, did they just need to get Tiffany Stratton on the PLE because they don't plan on putting her on the SummerSlam card either?
Right.
As I was just saying about Io Sky, they left Io Sky off the Mania card. They're not going to leave her off the SummerSlam card. It feels like they're probably going to leave Tiffany Stratton off of the SummerSlam card.
I mean, if you had to pick one or the other, then yeah, I would definitely think they're probably thinking Tiff is not going to be on the SummerSlam card.
Well,
Only way you see her doing that is if she has a match on Friday night for SmackDown or something, but she's not going to be on the official card.
Yeah, it's at that point, it's like, does she have backstage heat? Like, does she have heat on her backstage? She might. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I think if she had real heat, they wouldn't have her featured on television as much.
Uh-huh.
But also, are we just gonna get Tiffany Stratton versus Blake Monroe at SummerSlam for Blake to just win the Women's United States Championship right then and there? Could happen. Is the Women's Intercontinental title going to be on a SummerSlam card? We'll talk about that when we get to Raw. We had Cody Rhodes, the WWE Undisputed Champion, defend against Gunther and Sami Zayn in a triple threat match, and we both said last week, there's no way Cody is not is.
I was dead set on Cody, just retaining, but this is where the show took a turn, and the unexpected happened, and Triple H finally took his thing to saying a new era started. Yeah, because we had Sami Zayn getting the roll up on Cody, and it's one thing, he pinned Cody, not even pinning Gunther. He pinned the champion to win the WWE Championship. So one can say he finally deserved it because he's been going like up and down for the last year. I'll agree with that. I think he deserves it, but again, don't think it's going to be a long reign. There's a lot of rumors about, the Brock situation, and now, we'll get into a couple other things from what we heard about SmackDown. But yeah, I don't see Sammy holding on to this title very long. I think it's just a transitional thing, just to kind of see that, he had won it. I did hear a rumor that the original plan for Sammy was to win it at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia, but they obviously pulled it back till now, because obviously I feel they're looking at something better, because, if you're doing WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, does Sami Zayn as the champion seem like a very promotional name?
We talked about that last week too.
Exactly.
I was like,
so
it's not a Mania match. Like, not right now.
If I'm the Prince of Saudi Arabia, I'm not looking at Sami Zayn to be filling my cup. I'll tell you that. I respect Sammy for what he does and him as a wrestler, but he's just not a Roman. He's not in. I'll even vaguely say he's not a Cody Rhodes. He's not on the same level. I mean, yeah, he can wrestle with the top guys, but he definitely doesn't have the same spark and the same, I guess if you want to really call it an it factor. He doesn't have the same thing as what the top guys are right now.
He did when they had the Sammy and Roman Elimination Chamber
when he was the honorary Uce. That was it. Again, like we say with LA Knight, if you would have given the title when they needed it, that would have been the better time, instead of just being at this random moment and just giving him the belt just to say that we put the belt on him finally. But you put it on him so late that, people still kind of care, but not as much as when he was the honorary Uce and he had that championship opportunity with Roman, and he was like almost about to beat him, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been like the second coming of Daniel Bryan if Sami Zayn won that. Like, I mean, that was like, what, 3-4 years ago now?
Seems like it, yeah.
And like, it'll be interesting. Like, is Sammy Sammy going to have a second title reign? Like, is he going to? Okay, if Jey Uso gets that title again at some point, Sami Zayn could totally win it. If Braun Breaker gets it, sure, Sami Zayn could win it. If Jacob Fatu gets it, sure, Sammy could win it.
Right.
Because at that point, you have one of the main titles on these so-called B+ players in comparison to your QB1 and your QB1A in Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
1A, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what they refer to, like, Steve Austin and The Rock as. Like, you had your number 1 and you had your number 1A. Like,
because they're so close to each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, The Rock was a lot closer to Steve Austin than Cody Rhodes is to Roman Reigns. I mean,
yeah.
If you're going back to WrestleMania 40, I feel like they were fairly close. But once Roman lost there and then was gone until SummerSlam, after he came back at SummerSlam, I was like, oh, this guy's aura is through the roof at this point.
Yeah, if anything, him losing that title just made his stuff skyrocket to the next level. So it's like
LA Fitness, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You thought I didn't catch that. I was like, I'm just gonna save this for like 5 minutes from now.
Put it in the pocket.
Right here. Got that for you.
But yeah, I mean, he came back in that SummerSlam, and because we were all that summer, you heard during that summer people chanting Roman Reigns to come back at that point. So once we got that, everybody flipped. So,
Yep.
it's going back to the Sammy stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about like you now have Sami Zayn, who is in like what we would call the B+ player tier.
Right.
So it's like, okay, at this point, let's say that they don't put the WWE title on Brock Lesnar at some point. You have Sami Zayn with the WWE Championship, and you now have an avenue for LA Knight. You now have an avenue for Jey Uso to be like, okay, I am in the conversation for that title, because you have the big wigs, your head honchos, are now swimming around the World Heavyweight Championship instead.
Yeah.
Now that Roman
if you're going to have this title change a couple times, and if you're trying to eventually pay off somebody like a LA Knight, the only way he's getting that is at this opportunity at this point, to either take it off of Sami Zayn or take it off of Jey Uso at SummerSlam. Another possibility being that, if we do down the line see a rematch of Cody and Sami Zayn, or a new Jey Uso and Sami at main event, depending on the winner of that, if it is Jey getting the thing back, I can definitely see LA Knight pulling up that and then being like, hey, you and me need to, fight for that title at SummerSlam. Again, doesn't seem like it's too much of a main attraction when you already have Roman and Seth, and you have Brock and Oba as your two big matches that weekend. But I think for people knowing that this could be the moment LA Knight finally gets his championship, it'll, definitely spark it as one of the bigger ones. But again, it's a little bit of forward thinking and fantasy booking, hopefully.
At that point,
it's a lot of moves to make that happen.
It's too much with too little time.
Yes.
To me, it's, if Sami Zayn is holding on to this for like a little bit, it is for LA Knight to win Money in the Bank and just cash it in on Sami Zayn. And it's like, okay,
yeah,
LA Knight, okay, in 3 months' time, I guess at that point it'll be like more like 4 months' time. We got Sami Zayn the title, and we got LA Knight the title. So in my head, it's like, okay, if they really wanted to get the title on LA Knight, Sami Zayn had to get the title at some point beforehand. They like, because Sami has been around for way longer. It does feel that way, right? Like,
yeah,
in comparison to LA Knight, yeah, that's 100% accurate. So if that title does not go to Brock Lesnar and then to Oba Femi, which at this point it just feels like they're not doing it.
I will put my money on no, because I again, you don't need a belt with Oba and Brock at this point. The Hell in a Cell sells itself, because you already have the big stipulation of it's the final best out of 3, and knowing that this is going to most likely be Brock's last match, that's selling it in itself.
Right.
At this point, even though I was saying earlier, obviously Sami's not going to hold it for very long. I mean, I can see him walking into SummerSlam with it, and, it'll just be a 50-50 whether he comes out as champion or not.
Yeah. I mean,
you could get a triple threat there as well with, Sami, Jey, and Cody, or Sami, or a 4-man go at it with LA Knight, Sami, Cody, and Jey, just fighting out for it. That could probably elevate it and kind of put it on the same level as, Roman, Seth, and Oba and Brock, having
Yeah.
like the fatal 4-way for that championship would kind of
I'm just,
elevate that.
I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I feel like SummerSlam, it's going to be the Usos versus LA Knight and Solo Sikoa, like tag team match.
That's true. I keep forgetting that situation's brewing too. So they could
Yeah,
just set
because
that
they did the Solo stuff with LA last Monday, and then they had a whole segment on SmackDown. That's what happened.
up. Mm-hmm.
Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa both told Solo, we're out.
We're out.
Like they literally are done. So then LA Knight went out to the ring. He called Solo out and was like, why are you helping me? And Solo was like, look, I don't have anybody. Basically, like, you and I can work together. We both hate the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And LA Knight was like, no thanks, I'm good. And
I don't
then
do frenzies.
they ran back LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso on Raw again, and Solo Sikoa showed up again.
Mm-hmm.
And but Jimmy won this time. Yeah, Jimmy beat LA Knight this time. LA didn't get the win. I had that wrong from the notes that we were talking about before we started recording. But we wind up getting on SmackDown. It is going to be Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes
Mm-hmm.
in the main event, with the winner challenging Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw, this upcoming Raw, in Chicago. Interesting. It smells.
I
It
thought
smells
they were
like
doing it from. I thought they were doing it from main event. So
no. Literally the winner is challenging Sammy for the title on Raw this Monday coming up in Chicago. If that doesn't scream CM Punk is coming back, I don't know what else does.
right. So they had the match already from SmackDown, and then whoever wins that is facing Sammy this coming next Raw. Is that?
Yeah.
Am I saying that correct?
Sami Zayn is defending the WWE title on Monday Night Raw in Chicago against Cody Rhodes. That is happening.
Yeah.
That is happening next week. So I am glad that we are going to be recording right after Raw next week. So
we will be here definitely right after Raw next week for that one, for sure.
Yes.
Depending on the outcome.
Yes.
Well, either way, depending on the outcome, we'll be there. But yeah, we'll be discussing it either way with the outcome. But yeah.
It is just curious that they are defending the SmackDown main title on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because it's in Chicago, so it's like, okay.
Right. Like you said, I mean, it kind of makes you wonder, being in Chicago,
it just feels like, okay.
Why are they doing it in Chicago? Why are they doing it on a Monday Night Raw? Is
why
there a
else
particular somebody that's going to be there?
CM Punk? And this just sounds like the easy way to get CM Punk over to SmackDown because he's got nothing left to do on Raw anyway. I mean,
yeah.
What was he doing on Raw other than Roman Reigns, Seth, Braun Breaker,
Gunther,
and Drew, right?
And Drew. Yep.
But that was like almost 2 years ago now when all of that was a thing. But anyway,
but yeah, so, to wrap up the Night of Champions, obviously the big turnaround with it was Sami Zayn winning. And, it's understandable, going into Raw, how Oba is now facing Brock at SummerSlam, and it's like the whole King of the Ring situation is they get a championship opportunity. So he kind of threw the champion. He didn't really throw it away. He just paused and postponed it to another point. But he wants to get rid of Brock, which I understand because that's almost like kind of in your path, because you don't want to be facing Roman and still have Brock behind you, because he could easily take that opportunity away from you, and then you don't get that opportunity again. So it's a business move on that end to be like, okay, I got to get rid of this problem so I can totally have my focus on if I want to get this thing off of Roman. So even though it's like a detour and it doesn't really say like, oh, well, you're going to face the either champion at SummerSlam. Oh, wait, now you're not. You're going to have this. So I think you just got to pay off the Brock thing, and that's only going to make Oba that much more powerful going into facing Roman either later on at WrestleMania or at a future pay-per-view in the coming months.
So why not just have Seth Rollins win King of the Ring?
Yep. That could have been way easier. Then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Because now, like, okay, Adam Pearce tells Oba backstage, just so we're clear, you are foregoing your SummerSlam title opportunity. So everyone that's oh, I thought you were just like, yeah, foregoing.
Yeah, whatever. Foregoing. Yeah, whatever. I don't.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't want it.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm King of the Ring. I don't care about the title.
Yeah.
Fugazi. Could you imagine Oba Femi says Fugazi?
Fugazi, I would cry laughing.
Anyway, yeah. So this whole foregoing thing, people are like really bent out of shape about like, okay, he wins King of the Ring, he wins the opportunity at SummerSlam. Now it doesn't even matter. People are like, well, if he's foregoing it, that means he's forfeiting the opportunity. So now he has to earn the title shot again, or this is just King of the Bank or King of the Ring in the bank, where he could just say, yeah, I won King of the Ring, so I don't have to cash it in at SummerSlam. I'm just gonna do it at some other time later.
Yeah.
So people are like, you can't bend the rules, man.
You can't do that.
I'm like, this is pro wrestling. They can do
Right.
whatever they want.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yep.
I mean, and it's Oba Femi. The guy beat Brock Lesnar in his first WrestleMania. I mean,
Can't say much more than that.
Can't say much more than that, other than you could have just had Seth Rollins win King of the Ring, but I think because of the injuries, because they weren't able to do Seth and Braun at WrestleMania to start the feud, or that was supposed to be where it ended, who knows, because like the Seth injury back in the fall just moved everything.
They've been paying off a lot of matches they wanted to do at WrestleMania that they eventually just got on these other pay-per-views that you obviously could have been seen that they were supposed to be Mania matches, but now that they've actually come back from their injuries or whatever, now it's just the perfect time to, okay, let's just get this one out of the way to say that we did it, so it's not going to just crumble into something, so now we can move on. And it's like they're trying to play pick up from all the storylines that they missed out on, and now they're just trying to catch up to a lot of the storylines to get back to where they wanted to be at.
Yeah, hence this Roman Reigns Seth Rollins match that we're getting at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
everybody, that was supposed to be the match at Mania at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I like the only thing I can really think of is they wanted Obafemi to win King of the Ring because they needed to give him something to do to show his dominance in a way that felt important to build him up for the title picture, albeit, yeah, he's going to have to do this Brock Lesnar thing one more time at SummerSlam. But after that, what you're gonna put Obafemi in the Money in the Bank ladder match? Like,
Right. I mean, they're
it,
putting champions in tournaments, hence live. So I mean, it wouldn't be surprising with doing stuff like that.
I would not be surprised if Obafemi, he's got to win this Hell in a Cell match, which Michael Cole made it a point to say that
Yep,
Brock Lesnar has never lost a Hell in a Cell match. So,
I did hear that. Yeah, I mean, if they're looking at Brock, I mean, Oba taking this best out of three, it's gonna, have to be one of the biggest matches, and it's gonna have to probably pass 10 minutes this time.
I mean, they're not going to drop Hell in a Cell and this match go 9 minutes. I'll be pissed if it goes under 10 minutes. A Hell in
Yeah,
a Cell match under 10 minutes.
that'll be wild.
If this is Brock's last match, he's got to go at least 15 minutes
Hmm.
for me to feel like, oh, this Hell in a Cell match was worth it. It's going to take. I mean, the Hell in a Cell lowering is an entrance in and of itself. I mean,
Hmm. Yep.
you get the cell dropping. I mean, they might do the entrances and then the cell dropping, just like they did
It's
with.
usually how they do it, I think, right?
Well, that's
Because
what
it's
they did for
enclosed, so yeah.
that's what they did for Undertaker and Triple H
Yeah.
when Shawn Michaels did the end of an era
Yep. Yep. Yep.
match. Um, got that nice Metallica entrance theme song for the
Hmm.
cage.
Yeah.
Oof. Um, what I was getting at, Anth, I will not be surprised if Obafemi is beat up and he comes out in a sling on the Monday night after and basically says he has to take time off because they just don't know what else to do with him in the
Hmm.
meantime. Again, or they're just like, we need Obafemi for the ratings during football season. Would not be surprised if that's a
Right.
thing also. But other than going after Roman Reigns, what else is Obafemi going to do? This is the
Yep.
corner that they were afraid of painting themselves into with having him even face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania to begin with. Because it's like the only thing for him to do is win one of the one of the main titles, and then the whole shtick there is they have to creatively have somebody get that belt off of him, which
Hmm.
they had they had to play with in NXT a couple of times. You book triple threat matches so he doesn't eat the pin type thing.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, the same way that they protected Brock Lesnar all of the years that they did. They will figure it out. It's their job.
100%.
Right. Um, okay. I am just like scanning through. Yeah, that Cody Rhodes beats Jey Uso to get the title match with Sammy on Raw in Chicago. That is the only thing like super noteworthy from the spoiler to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big one.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah. Everything else is
but
kind of just substance that I saw, but
it's
uh,
yeah,
it's
it's
definitely
there.
the biggest takeaway of the show.
I mean, we are getting a little bit of dissension between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. It's like, okay, good, get that get that going because
Definitely finalize that for sure.
they they've had their time. We're good. We're
Hmm.
ready. We're ready for what's next. Um, I mean, just want to check our notes to make sure anything noteworthy. We have Lyra Valkyria
Just
doing
kind of
the mentally unstable character arc that Bailey teased that we talked about. Yeah, WWE, I guess, leaned away from that because they were apprehensive about how to book somebody with like mental instability.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I thought it was working for Bailey. I mean, I actually liked
they
what she was doing, but
they like they clearly it, like to me at this point feels like they were like, this would actually benefit Lyra down the line, and basically just told Bailey, thanks but no thanks. We're gonna
forget you
pass.
actually did any of that crazy stuff. But yeah,
We're gonna pass this off. Uh I I will not be surprised if Bailey at some point winds up in AEW with Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné.
oh yeah.
I mean, besties, right?
I mean, she's obviously gone to AEW and watched her.
Yeah.
I believe so. It's not uncommon for her to show up in an AEW
Well,
thing.
Bailey has been like, what's the word? I don't want to say like a stepping stone or a pedestal. Like, basically, just a benchmark for the up and coming talent. Like, she's been jobbing out to the talent
Yeah,
and putting them over to help elevate them. But I think it just feels like she might get a little tired of that sooner than later, and she
right.
might be like, I'm good, and be like, I'm gonna go over there now. Like, it just
Hmm.
feels like that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
because if Bailey's like, wow, I really like, I mean, we talk about our favorite Bailey being COVID Bailey. Like, she carried that Thunderdome era. She was like the best part of
beautifully.
2020. I mean, no fans wrestling. Like, she owned that. Like,
Yeah,
and has not gotten to a point of relevancy since then.
yeah, because she was just playing that big heel character, and
I mean, she did that with Sasha, and then she did Damage Control, and
uh-huh.
then we had the EO split out, and then we had the my how the turntables, and we had like a
Hmm.
face Bailey going after a heel EO. Um,
Yeah, now
I
she's kind of just been like the big face type of tweener face type thing, and she hasn't really had that like aggressive heel persona. So I mean, we'll see as more develops with the Lyra Valkyria thing. I mean, uh, again, they're going, and just switching the thing that Bailey had to go to her, like we said. So it'll be interesting how she takes this, you know.
yep. Um, After the whole like intro with Oba, they show Austin Theory backstage, and he's like, "Hey, Paul, I didn't even know you were gonna be here. Like, you didn't even
Yes.
tell me." And Paul Heyman was
Like,
like, "I'm telling you now."
yep. He's like, oh, you
I,
didn't know I was here? Well, I'm telling you now. Hmm.
I was like, Paul Heyman just told Theory like, you can kiss my ass,
Yeah.
basically.
And then Theory's like, oh, no, 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 no. So, yep,
Yep.
that was what I was implying about earlier. Hit the implode button on the Vision. They are cooked
Yeah,
at this point. I
they
mean,
are super
I
cooked.
think that is probably the final,
Nail in the
notch.
coffin, like they are.
If Heyman is done with that, then yeah, they're
Well,
just at this point uh, searching for anything to keep them afloat. If Heyman is done, it's not much longer.
if anything, what they can do, which would like make total sense, literally just have Braun Breaker take out Paul Heyman after SummerSlam and be like, as soon as Brock Lesnar showed up, like, you left us in the dust.
Yeah.
And literally just have Braun Breaker tell him how it is. I mean, spear him, write Paul Heyman off TV, and then let Braun Breaker go over to SmackDown on his own, and like, you can either let him have a babyface run over there, or he can have a real feud with CM Punk over there. If not, you can literally just keep Paul Heyman with Braun Breaker, since Brock Lesnar will be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker makes a ton of sense. It'll just be interesting. Like, what are you gonna do with Bronson Reed when he comes back? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That, like I said, we mentioned last week too. You're mentioning now Bronson Reed coming back. We still have KO coming back. That's another thing I would love to see if we get like a KO and Sami Zayn run. I'm not sure if they're gonna pull that off, but that would be something that they can't not miss while he has the belt on him. But
and I mean, everybody is saying Sami Zayn is a transitional champion. Like, there's no way he's going to hold on to this until WrestleMania.
No.
It's like,
you don't know.
I mean, unless they hot potato it back and forth in the next 10 months, and then you literally have Sami Zayn going into Saudi Arabia with the title, defending against Kevin Owens. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could have Kevin Owens come back, let's say at Crown Jewel when they're in Saudi Arabia again. Sami has the belt, and you have Kevin Owens obliterate Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia, and then you have heel Kevin Owens, and you have babyface Sami Zayn.
I mean, bread and butter.
Bread and butter. But, like, I mean, that's like one way you get Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia, and then they both can retire because they're like, we have nothing like that. This is our dream. This is all we ever wanted, and they can be done. Like, I mean, I would love for Kevin Owens to stick around for longer, but I think he knows damn well, like,
yeah,
he's got to be careful. He's got like a really messed up neck, and once you get to that point,
yeah, that could be your whole working point for him to probably get to Sami and saying, like, kind of how Seth brought it up to Roman in the main event of Raw. Kevin can just be like, been having this time off has really given me a lot to think about. That I'm really grateful to be back in this ring, but I don't know how much longer I have. This is only gonna get me to so long, so this might be the last chance we get to fight again. So let's just do it. Like, throw it back for
old time's
sake. Let's do it one more time and let the better man win. So
yeah, I wouldn't hate it. I mean,
they've always had a lot of good matches, so we'll see. Yeah. Was there anything else from SmackDown that's noteworthy?
No, I was actually just one more time looking over Raw. There are a couple. Okay, Raquel beat Maxine Dupree to become the number one contender for Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca's been off TV
for what, like the last 2 weeks, right?
So they were in Europe, and at a house show, she did a springboard crossbody to Liv Morgan.
That's right, yeah.
And like fell right on Liv Morgan's leg, and people were making death threats. I believe it was death threats towards Sol Ruca on Twitter, to the point where Sol Ruca
she deleted it, right?
She deleted her
yeah, she's just catching a lot. I mean, feel bad for her, but
number one, it's why they've kept her off TV the last couple weeks, but also number two, it's
Mhm.
like that women's intercontinental championship might look really nice on Raquel Rodriguez. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Wouldn't be mad about it. I mean,
No,
if you're, everybody's been thinking, and I mean, I've been saying the fact that Judgment Day is on its last leg too, but it seems like they just keep on giving them opportunities. So it's like, okay, I guess out of the three, they're just holding on to the Judgment Day to some extent. So
well, what's going to happen because Liv is making it all about herself,
yeah,
and
you can definitely
Raquel
read the
and
lines between a
Roxanne
lot of that.
are showing the disgust in her
Hmm.
subtly, and our guy Danhausen came out and cursed her right before her match with Io, and it was like,
Yep.
well, spoiler alert, Io Sky is winning the Queen of the Ring, and like she is still cursed. Good chance that Liv
Right.
Morgan is not leaving SummerSlam with that women's world championship.
Right.
So then it's Raw the next night after SummerSlam, and Liv's going to be having a conniption, but Raquel will have just won the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So Raquel will be
That'll
like,
be yeah.
can't you be excited for my accomplishment? And Liv will be like,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
she'll be like, I mean, it's the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I lost the World Heavyweight Championship, and Raquel's going to lose it. So
Why oughta?
why?
Why
Yeah.
I oughta?
Um, I feel like we kind of talked around a lot of stuff. Is there anything else pressing? There are a couple other notes here, but I think that we can follow up on them after Raw
Yeah.
next week because it's all stuff that they will follow up on.
Yeah,
So
and plus, I mean, we try not to, because there's so many things out here today with, everybody recaps every little thing. We try not to recap every little moment. We try to stick with the bigger portions of what we're seeing because, you can read up on the, reviews and everything too on little back things. But we like to try to stick with the bigger and main, more important parts. So, uh, yeah, if there's anything that we missed, anything you guys feel that we can go into more detail, let us know in the comments. And as always, you can always hit us up on our emails, our email at onesetpod@gmail.com. We always love hearing feedback from you guys about what you're thinking of the podcast, what we can improve on, and what your thoughts are on the current WWE product. And if you're here for the first time, we are the One Set Podcast. My name is Anthony Irvin, and my co-host here, Jim Green. So make sure you guys follow us if you love what we're talking about. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and right here on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing and following us. Also, I don't say this enough, but we're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so make sure you guys rate, review, and subscribe on those. And last but not least, Jim, let everybody know where they can hang out with us outside of our episodes.
that is the Facebook group One Set Fam. Again, that is the number One Set Fam
Juan.
on Facebook. Come hang out with us. It is where we do our community interaction with our fans. All the love to the One Set Fam over there.
Shouts out. Yes.
Shouts out.
Love you
all
guys.
the shouts. Anth, I love you, brother.
Love you too,
everybody. All the love to you. Until next time, this has been One Set.